The new moon doesn't start a new month or the new year, Part 1. The new moon was never designated to be used as the start of the Hebrew months. This practice was started by pagan Babylonians and adopted by Hebrews during our Babylonian captivity. We often connect the Torah-given command to observe the beginning of each month with the occurrence of the new moon. But the law is specific. It says the beginnings of the months, not the occurrence of the new moons. Let's read it. Numbers 10:10. Also in the day of your gladness and in your solemn days and in the beginnings of your months, you shall blow with the trumpets over your burnt offerings. Numbers 28:11. And in the beginnings of your months, you shall offer a burnt offering unto Yah. Numbers 28:14. And their drink offerings shall be an half an hin of wine unto a bullock, and a third part of an hin unto a ram, and a fourth part of an hin unto a lamb. This is the burnt offering of every month throughout the months of the year. Following a lunar calendar will always cause the eventual adding of a 13th month. Adding a 13th month is not scriptural. This is because the lunar calendar has only 354 days, which is 10 days too short of a full year. If a 13th month is not added, then the beginning of the year will continue to fall backwards. Soon the start of the year would occur in the winter, then in the autumn, then in the summer, and so on. After about 3 years of 10 days too short per year, that adds up to a 30-day deficit, which would cause the beginning of the year to occur sometime in February. Most people understand that the starting of the year in February is biblically wrong and doesn't follow the scriptural springtime beginning of the year. Because of this, a 13th month is added. This pushes the beginning of the year back into the spring. But this adding of a 13th month is not scriptural. Nowhere in the scriptures is it allowed or promoted to add a 13th month. Deuteronomy 4:2. You shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall you diminish aught from it, that ye may keep the commandments of Yahweh your Elohim which I command you. Just to give one scriptural example of many, of how many months there are in a year, is found in 1 Chronicles chapter 27. This chapter deals with the list of people of Israel, including the heads of families, commanders, and the officers who served King David month by month throughout all of the months of the year, for a total of 12 months only, not 13 months. 1 Chronicles 27, 1 through 15, and it will be abbreviated. Please read along in your own books. Now the children of Israel, after their number, to wit, the chief fathers and captains, and their officers that served the king in any manner of the courses which came in and went out, month by month, throughout all the months of the year. Over the first course for the first month was Jeshbuim, and over the course of the second month was Dodai. The third captain of the host for the third month was Benai. The fourth captain for the fourth month is Ashiel. The fifth captain for the fifth month was Shemothuf. The sixth captain for the sixth month was Ira. The seventh captain for the seventh month was Helez. The eighth captain for the eighth month was Shebekai. The ninth captain for the ninth month was Albiezer. The 10th captain for the 10th month was Maharai. The 11th captain for the 11th month was Benaiah. And the 12th captain for the 12th month was Hadai. Nowhere was there given a 13th month nor a 13th captain, because they did not exist in our Hebrew scriptures and our Hebrew lifestyle, up until our people fell away from keeping the law and began to follow after our Babylonian captors. Praise God. Please look forward to the second part. The new moon doesn't start a new month or the new year, part 2. The new moon was never designated to be used as the start of the Hebrew months. This practice was started by pagan Babylonians and adopted by Hebrews during our Babylonian captivity. In the first part of this discussion, we showed that following a lunar calendar will always cause the eventually adding of a 13th month. The lunar calendar is 10 days too short of a full year, having only 354 days in a year, which forces the adding of a 13th month so that the beginning of the new year remains in the spring and doesn't fall backwards into the winter and further. This adding of a 13th month, however, is against law, as stated in Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 2. You shall not add unto the word which I command you, neither shall you diminish aught from it, that you may keep the commandments of Yahweh your Elohim, which I command you. In part 1, we also read in 1 Chronicles 27, verses 1 through 15, that a year consisted of 12 months only, month by month throughout all the months of the year. This month-by-month scriptural account spanned over 15 verses and showed that 12 months only complete a year, not 13. Now in part 2 of this discussion, we'd like to continue with other scriptural accounts of only 12 months equaling a year. The book of Esther gives us yet another scriptural example of the biblical year consisting of only 12 months, not 13 months. In Esther chapter 2, verse 12, Mordecai, an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin, was successful in placing his uncle's daughter, better known as his cousin Hadassah or Esther, as next in line to be queen in the land that they were exiled in. This process included a women's purification and beauty treatment that lasted a full year, that being 12 months. 6 months of oil treatments, and 6 months of sweet odor treatments. Esther 2 and 12. Now when every maid's turn was come to go in to King Ahasuerus, after that she had been 12 months, for so were the days of their purifications, 6 months with oil of myrrh, and 6 months with sweet odors. Another scriptural example of how many months are found in a year is found in Esther chapter 3, verse 7. Here the scripture tells us that the year goes from the first month, from day to day, and from month to month until the 12th month, not the 13th month. Esther 3 and 7. In the first month, that is, the month Nisan, they cast pur, that is, the lot, before Haman from day to day and from month to month to the 12th month, that is, the month Adar. Another scriptural example of how many months there are in a year is found in the book of 1 Kings. This example shows how King Solomon had 12 officers governing in Israel. Each of the 12 officers was responsible for 1 month, that being 12 months in the year, not 13 months. 1 Kings 4 and 7. And Solomon had 12 officers over all Israel, which provided victuals for the king and his household. Each man his month in a year made provision. And also 1 Kings 4 and 27. And those officers provided victual for King Solomon, every man in his month. Another scriptural example of how many months there are in a year is found in the book of Daniel, chapter 4. Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, called upon Daniel to discern the king's dream. The dream described Nebuchadnezzar's fall from his throne because of his haughtiness. This dream became reality exactly 12 months later, that is, a full year after it was prophesied. Daniel 4 and 24. This is the interpretation, O king, that they shall drive thee from men, till you know that the Most High rules in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will. All this came upon King Nebuchadnezzar at the end of 12 months. There fell a voice from heaven saying, The kingdom is departed from thee. Throughout the scriptures, the understanding is consistent. There are only 12 months in every year. There is no biblical 13th month, and there should not be any 13th month in our Hebrew year either. Yah does not change, and neither does his word. Yah's law written in Numbers 28 verse 14 tells the Israelites to make an offering every month throughout the months of the year. Yah did not give us 13 months within a year, so this law is being broken when we maintain a lunar calendar and therefore have to add a 13th month to a year every 3 years. Numbers 28 and 14. And their drink offerings shall be half an hin of wine unto a bullock, and the third part of an hin unto a ram, and a fourth part of an hin unto a lamb. This is the burnt offering of every month throughout the months of the year. Praise Yah. Please stay tuned for part 3. The new moon doesn't start a new month or a new year. Part 3. The new moon was never designated to be used as a start of the Hebrew months. This practice was started by pagan Babylonians and adopted by Hebrews during our Babylonian captivity. In the KJV translation of the book of Ezekiel, chapter 4, Ezekiel was commanded to lie down for 390 days on his left side, then to turn over and to continue to lie down for 40 days on his right side. Adding together the total of these days gives a sum of 430 days. There's a new theory that these 430 days show that this particular year had 13 months instead of 12 months. Here are the scriptures that are spoken of. Ezekiel chapter 1 verse 1. Now it came to pass in the 4th month, as I was among the captives by the river of Chebar, I saw visions of Elohim, which was the 5th year of King Jehoiam's captivity. Ezekiel had completed his task by the 6th year. Ezekiel 8 and 1. And it came to pass in the 6th year, in the 6th month, as I sat in mine house. It is assumed that because we read that the total days Ezekiel spent lying down was 66 days greater than that standard of 364 or 365 days in a year, that an extra leap month, 13th month, must have been added. This theory, however, is biblically unsound. There are only 12 months in a biblical year. Yah did not command his people to determine the month by the new moon observation, and Yah did not command a 13th leap month. Let's delve deeper into this. Many people use the Strong's Concordance with their Bibles to better study the scriptures. This is wise because of changes in word meanings and translations. There is another study source, however, that is necessary to even better study the scriptures. That source is the Septuagint. The Septuagint is one of the first translations of the Old Testament Hebrew Bible. The Septuagint is about 1,000 years older than the source of our KJV Bibles, as well as most other Bible translations currently in existence. The Septuagint shows the error in the number of days given in the KJV version of the book of Ezekiel, as we will read. The book of Ezekiel is not the only place where the Septuagint corrects errors found in the KJV. The book of Genesis shows another. The KJV version of the Genesis, chapter 46 and 27, states that the number of all the souls of the house of Jacob that left Egypt after the Passover was 70 souls. This, however, does not reflect what was stated in the KJV version of the book of Acts. In the KJV version of Acts, chapter 7, verse 14, it states that 75 souls of the house of Jacob left Egypt. The Septuagint, however, backs up the KJV book of Acts by also stating that 75 souls left Egypt. Let's read these accounts. KJV, Acts 7 and 14. Then sent Joseph and called his father Jacob to him, and all his kindred, 60 and 15 souls, that being 75. The KJV Genesis 46 and 27 states, all the souls of the house of Jacob which came into Egypt were 60 and 10, that being 70 souls. The Septuagint translation, however, states, also in Genesis 46 and 27, all the souls of the house of Jacob who came with Joseph into Egypt were 75 souls. The Septuagint version of the Old Testament makes other corrections to the KJV. For example, Genesis 10 and 24 gives the genealogy of the seed of Adam. The KJV version omits Canaan, while the KJV New Testament book of Luke includes Canaan in the genealogy. While some had seen this as a contradiction, the Septuagint corrects this omission and also includes Canaan in the genealogy. Let's read briefly the differences. In the KJV book of Luke, chapter 3 and 36, Canaan, which was the son of Arphaxad. Now, KJV Genesis 10 and 24 states, Arphaxad begat Selah, Selah begat Eber. And this, of course, omits Canaan. Now for the Septuagint version of Genesis 10 and 24, Arphaxad begot Canaan, and Canaan begot Selah. Selah begot Eber. And as you see here, Canaan was indeed included in this, which connects directly to the KJV book of Luke. In addition to the Septuagint correcting numerical errors found in the KJV, the Septuagint was directly quoted from by the New Testament apostles and the Messiah. It is said that 90% of the Old Testament quotes are from the Septuagint instead of the KJV's original source, the Masoretic text. Here are just a couple. This New Testament KJV quotes directly from the Septuagint and not the KJV. 1 Peter 4 and 18. And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? The KJV Proverbs 11 and 31 states, Behold, the righteous shall be recompensed in the earth, much more than the wicked and the sinner. However, the Septuagint Proverbs 11 and 31 states, If the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? The KJV New Testament again quotes the Septuagint. This is in Hebrews 10 and 5. Wherefore, when he cometh into the world, he saith, Sacrifice and offering would you not, but a body have you prepared me. The KJV from Psalms 40 and 6 states, Sacrifice and offering did you not desire, mine ears have you opened, burnt offering and sin offering have you not required. But the Septuagint Psalms 40 and 6 states, Sacrifice and offering you would not, but a body have you prepared me. Whole burnt offering and sacrifice for sin you did not require. The Septuagint is about 1,000 years older than the source of the KJV Bible, which is the Masoretic text. And there are many other verses that prove the validity of its translation. But for this study, let's return to the book of Ezekiel and the fact that it does not prove the existence of a 13th month. Ezekiel was a prophet to Israel and was chosen to be a sign to the nation. Yah told him to draw or portray the city of Jerusalem and show what was to happen to the city. In addition, Yah told Ezekiel to lie on his left side, then on his right side for a certain amount of days. Each day was to equate to a year of Israel's disobedience. In the KJV version, it states that for the house of Israel, that being the northern 10 tribes, the years of disobedience for them was 390 years. And for the house of Judah, the southern 2 tribes, their years of disobedience was 40 years, the total being 430. However, in the older Septuagint version, it states that the years of disobedience for the northern house of Israel was only 150 years, and the years of disobedience for the southern house of Judah was 40 years, that being a total of 190. Let's read. The KJV Ezekiel 4 and 3 states, This shall be a sign to the house of Israel. Lie you also upon the left side, and lay the iniquity of the house of Israel. For I have laid upon you the years of their iniquity, according to the number of the days, 390 days. And when you have accomplished them, lie again on your right side, and you shall bear the iniquity of the house of Judah 40 days. I have appointed thee each day for a year, and make thee bread thereof, according to the number of the days that you shall lie upon thy side, 390 days shall you eat thereof. The Septuagint version states, Ezekiel 4:3, This is a sign to the children of Israel, and you shall lie upon thy left side, and lay the iniquities of the house of Israel upon it, according to the number of 150 days, during which you shall lie upon it. And you shall bear their iniquities, and shall lie upon thy right side, and shall bear the iniquities of the house of Judah 40 days. I have appointed thee a day for a year, and shall make them loaves for thyself, and thou shalt eat them 190 days, according to the number of the days which you sleep on your side. The number of days that Ezekiel was commanded to lay on his left side for the northern house of Israel, according to the KJV version, was 390 days. This stood for 390 years of disobedience. The KJV number of 390 years is not correct, because when all the years of the reigns of all the kings of the house of Israel are added up, the whole northern kingdom did not last for 390 years. So they could not have been in disobedience for 390 years. And the Septuagint once again corrects this error. The Septuagint's version of Ezekiel clearly shows that the house of Israel was disobedient for 150 years, not 390 years. This fact clears up any confusion regarding the book of Ezekiel showing a case for a 13th month. Ezekiel only laid on one side for 150 days and the other side for 40 days, for a total of 190 days, which is well under the standard of 364 or 365 days in a year. Therefore, even the case of Ezekiel's unusual circumstances, there still is only 12 months in a year, never 13. As stated and shown in the two previous brief studies, the biblical year consists of 12 months. The Babylonian practice of following a lunar year will always force the eventual adding of a 13th month. A month based on the phases of the moon creates an unbiblical year with only 354 days. The moon does not determine our months. Praise Yah. Please stay tuned for part 4.